So, identity is something that is very difficult to grasp at times, especially the likes of me. I mean, for me, I was born in England. By definition and proxy, I'm British. However, I was brought up in a different culture, and so for many years, that really screwed my mind up, you know? Anyway, I'm gonna explain this further on DrayZera UNCENSORED! Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chamber of Mayhem! Are you ready to rumble? Moonlight! This is my time now to flash you on uncensored DrayZera! This is my time now to flash you on uncensored DrayZera Uncensored! DrayZera Uncensored! So yes, Happy New Year, Moonlight Army. Thank you all so much for tuning in once again for the second episode of DrayZera Uncensored. I have to tell you right now, before we go on to the show, I'll tell you this. I am absolutely amazed that the first episode, overall, at the time of recording, has nearly hit 500 views. I'm like, wow! I'm in awe. It's absolutely incredible. I literally can't believe it. And it's all thanks to you. Thank you all so much for listening in, tuning in. Thank you. It really means a lot. And you know what? I'm going to do this every week. I know that it's going to be hard. It's going to keep going hard. I want to make this as best as possible for all of you. So, yeah, please, on the comment section or wherever you're listening it from, SoundCloud, YouTube, shared from other social media, please, I want your feedback to me, because I want to make this, like I said, the best show it can be. So, let's get to the title. I am confused about my identity. So what does that mean? Well, I am somebody that's grown up essentially under two cultures, right? The culture within my home, especially for most of my younger years, not as such now to an extent, but when I was in school, I lived a completely different life. I felt as if I was two people, you know? Because, I'll tell you this, and this is something that might surprise a few people. I didn't learn I'll speak a word of English until the age of 6. And I was living in this country, you know? Reason being, is because my parents don't really speak English at all. They can speak it, but they don't really speak it in the house, you know? And because of that, I mainly spoke their language, their tongue. It took me a while for me to grasp the tongue that I should be immersed in, you know? And language is a very big part of identity. And as well as that, certain mannerisms and behaviours. And I'll say this off the bat. Because of my parents' culture and religion, I'm not allowed to drink alcohol. I'm not allowed, well, say not allowed, it's sort of frowned upon for me to marry or date outside of my culture. And did I do those two? Absolutely. I mean, I didn't start drinking alcohol until the age of 19, but I have given up. I have given up in 2016 simply just for a healthier lifestyle. And in terms of we don't need to go into my dating or my sexual life. I mean, I think that was well covered in the last episode, don't you think? So yeah, call that. it's always been, I've always felt like a black sheep of the family. I mean, within my main family of myself, my dad, my sister, right, like the core family, they're okay with me. They're all right with me. But I mean, they don't know. My parents, honestly, they don't know about my tattoos. I've got 3 tattoos. I've had tattoos since 2014. I've got, I've had, like I said, I've had gay sex. I've had sex. I think my parents know that I've probably had sex. Pretty sure. It's not one of those conversations that I had never really talked to my parents. Hey, parents, I had sex. Yeah, it's one of those topics that you don't really want to talk about because it's a bit awkward. Yeah, and for many years, I found it a struggle to really identify myself for the simple fact that I wanted to live my own life, right? I wanted to live the life that I wanted to, but the parameters of me doing that, I just found that really, really hard. It was a real struggle, and it's just, it's just really, it's just really difficult where I want to do one pathway, but my parents wouldn't really like that, you know? Because end of the day, when you live in a household, deep down, you really want blessings or support from your family because hey, they've been your main support network, and I've always been thankful for my parents to be supporting me. I mean, my mum's gonna help me with the book. I'm really grateful for that. My family will help me financially if I'm struggling. I'm always grateful for that. However, I think I'm not going to really blame them for their philosophy in trying to raise me because you got to think of it from their perspective, right? From their perspective, I am somebody that is doing things that essentially they wouldn't like because their parents would absolutely not want that to happen. And my parents came from a completely different land. This is why people need to understand. I mean, yes, my parents have been here for decades and decades, but when you live under that bubble where they want to live in a linear, well, I wouldn't say linear, but a certain style of living, and you don't want to get out of there, then can you really blame them for having views that can be perceived as narrow-minded? You know? I mean, yeah, I'll be saying straight off the bat, my parents are homophobic. My parents, because of the fact that my mum believes that women and men, quote unquote, have their roles. I know full well that even though my mum, she supports women and all that, my parents overall are sexist. Unfortunately, my and they will certainly hate the tattoo bit, and they would absolutely kick me out if I'm pretty sure they would probably all really be upset about me having gay sex, you know. But all in all, I'll tell them. Or if they hear it through the podcast, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry for me doing it, because I enjoyed it. But I apologise for you finding out this way. But oh well. So yeah, all in all, what I'm getting at with this point is that there are many people that have grown up within two cultures, right? And it can really mess with people's heads. I'll tell you a true story. I had a bit of a breakdown in my house about like when I was 18, 17. I think it was one of those two. Yeah, I think I was in. I can't remember. That one of those ages. I was a teenager, and I locked myself in my room for nearly 2 days, and I was just really a nervous wreck because I didn't know what to do with my life. You know. I mean, I always want my parents to be proud and happy of me, and they're really happy of the fact that I've got a book being published. But yeah, it's just very fascinating that. And now that I'm 26, I can see it from a much more wider perspective, because so many people out there living in England, living across the world, there are people that experience different cultures within their lives, and they clash to the point that it can really hurt them. And it's just one of those where people need to be wary of that. And this is to people that are meeting people for the first time, and their culture is not 100% British, British or like, within their circles. You just got to give them time. I'm very thankful for the friends that have really stuck by me for years and understood certain things about me that, it took me a while for me to figure out myself. It's difficult, and uh, yeah, just really once again just love one another, all that jazz. And yeah, it's just culture is a very funny thing. It is, and cultural identity can be quite a mindfuck. But yeah, I'm grateful for everything my parents have done, and I guess it's only really a shame that you have to remember also Asian countries are so far behind when it comes to universal acceptance or metropolitan, yeah, a metro sort of society, and more of a socialist kind of lifestyle, because they've lived in such a linear way, and the amount of government control and propaganda is so much more bigger there. Uh, free speech is so banned there. I'll tell you this: if I made a blog article about episode 1 of this podcast, I would probably get stoned or something in Bangladesh. No lies. I mean, the gay community in Bangladesh, they're scared. They're running for their lives. Yeah. So it's just something that you really gotta really be wary of. This world is a big place, and unfortunately, the jigsaw for world peace is not there. Do I believe it's gonna happen? Deep down, I don't think world peace is going to be achieved. But gotta keep fighting for it. Cause at the end of the day, me, you, say you're gonna have future generations. We want them to live a better life. That's all we want. Have a better life than what our parents have had. That's why my parents moved here, to get a better life and away from war. Okay, Moonlight Army, we're into the next topic now. And the next topic is an elaboration and extension to the blog post that I posted on DrayZera.blogspot.com or .co.uk, either one will work, about the stigma of single mothers has to stop. So in my article I explained that there are support networks available for single mothers. There is help available, but there's still a massive stigma within the media and society that single mothers have, and it's not really right. So, so what I'm going to do is you lot, if you haven't if you haven't read the article yet, feel free to do so at DrayZera.blogspot.com or .co.uk. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the post, the comments below on Facebook, and just elaborate on these points, right? So Jade Forbes, she wrote, first post, nice post, but that quote at the start about no one wanting to be a single mother is bad. It just again acts like a single mum is an unwanted lesser state of being. Many do choose to be, and especially those who split partners just aren't good enough. Single mothers aren't the pitied left behind of not good enough men. Your heart is in the right place though, which is good, my bad. My bad. Yeah. I removed that, my bad. I didn't mean it to come off as negative, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, indeed, yeah. So what I've done is I've got rid of that quote from that picture by Charlie Theron. It's one of the topics where I really want to make sure that a real like honest view without any negativity. You know what I mean? Obviously, we negativity because there are people out there that don't want they people flat out hate single mothers, and it's not right. It's not right. Yeah, not right. Not right. Not right. You know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah. That Jade brought about some decent points. I really appreciated her contribution. Let's read down. Okay. Right. Okay. So Rowan James, this is in. He said that some people do choose to be a single mum. Being a parent is a privilege. Some fantastic single mums, dads, some shit ones. There are fantastic two-parent family units and some shit ones. And then there are a load of people trying their best in challenging situations. And yeah, we're going to elaborate and explain further. Yeah, Carly Radford, she wrote this. She wrote, I don't think that being a single mum is always desirable though. I think you should still recognise that most single mothers are disadvantaged. Are they disadvantaged? Please, do you feel that single mothers are disadvantaged? Please comment below. Discuss, discuss, discuss. They don't get as much care and attention as a kid with two-parent families does. They often live in worse economic conditions for the simple reason that the family is giving on the one person's income and is more unlikely that she'll be a high-paying job. There are also a certain degree of instability that comes with it and persisting money troubles. Having been brought up by a single-parent family, I would inflict that on my own future children unless absolutely necessary. That's just me. Then, well, to put it bluntly, there was a bit of an argument going down between Jade and Carly. We're not going to go down that. We're not going to go down that. What I will say about the discussion specifically between Jade and Carly, because they had a bit of a argument, the lightest way of putting it, on social media, and both of them, it was really emotionally charged, and I'm going to pick up this one point by Jade. You're part of the reason that single mothers are vilified and openly express the very toxic and damaging opinion that keeps single mothers away from achieving what they can. You're very aware that they suffer what they suffer, but also think it's their fault if, God forbid, they choose not to stay with the father. You also have issues you need to address because they are not just your opinions, they are part of microaggressions that affect women. Okay, interesting. Yeah, there's this article that Jade put on everydayfeminism.com that she shared. I don't think she wrote the article. Yeah, it's on the post if you're friends with me on social media. Yeah, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to also read out other posts here. So Louise Fern, she writes. Perhaps I live in a cave, but I've been very lucky enough not to encounter any discrimination about being a single parent. I didn't choose this path, as my partner fled while I was pregnant, but I've actually enjoyed the challenge of bringing up a child solo. I run my own business, so financially my daughter wants for nothing. I also work around my daughter, so she spends lots of time with me. The fact that the father disowned her before birth means that I love her more than anything in the world, and feel the need to make her feel extra special to compensate for the love she lacked from her paternal family. Circumstances are not the same with others. Everyone parents differently, whether they are single parents or parenting as a couple. There are good parents and unfortunately bad. Being a single parent does not impact on either form. And Justine Demare, she brings a different scope on things, and this is something I went, ooh, interesting. Justine Demare writes, just some info to add into the mix. Mothers who choose to be single parents by donor conception tend to call themselves solo mums in the UK, more usually choice mums in the US. And recent research shows that kids do just as well in the situation as those with parents. Feel free to dive into the details. A link there. In my experience, solo mums tend to be very conscientious before before going down this path that they can provide for and give the love and support their kid is going to need. Hence the kids showing up no significant difference in well-being and psychological measures to those brought up in couples, whereas those who become single mums not by choice find themselves having to deal with it unplanned and having to deal with the trauma of a breakup at the same time as being a mum, which is a lot harder. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Lisa Bell writes, well, very well said, Louise. I've also been a single parent, far better than the alternative of a drug addict and a control freak. But hey ho, what would I know? I'm only 40. And Carly wrote, nice to hear some sensible replies. Again, I agree that all situations are different, and to the mums making it work just as well or even better than with the father, then more power to you. This is the kind of discussion I originally wanted to participate in. Brings up good points. Never really thought about it from that angle, but it makes sense. Marvelous, marvelous. I'm glad. Overall, it's been a great discussion. While I wasn't appreciative of the argument, but hey ho, human race, we're gonna argue. And yeah, so much great discussion there. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much all for contributing to the comments there. And yeah, what's my take on it? So, as stated on the article, I really am unhappy that for those who are dealing with the trauma and that, I think there needs to be more support done. And to go a bit more generalized here, the support required for mental health and all that really needs to improve. And mental health, emotional support, all that kind of stuff really needs to improve. Yeah, because it's one of those silent killers, I mean, yeah, physical health, yeah, you see, but emotional, mental health, that kind of thing. Those kind of health problems, those are the kind of health problems that are really underfunded, undervalued, or underwhelming, especially by the government, And yeah, we need to get ourselves away from the stigma of single parents, single mothers, right? Single mothers, single fathers, all that kind of stuff. That needs to stop, right? They're doing the best they can, and as long as they're doing the best job possible, they're working their arse off, yeah, they should be treated no differently than anyone else. And that's the brunt of it. Yeah. If you want to, like I said, if you want to add any of your comments, any opinions, please, please, please put it down below. Welcome back to DrayZera Uncensored, and we have a special guest today. We have the one and only Final Transmissions vocalist, and all the way from the land of the free, apparently, America, Eric Blade!
Hello everyone, how are you doing?
Marvelous. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, well, let's get to it. Now, it's easy for you to be like, oh, he's American, let's talk about the elections. No, let's not talk about that. Because if you want to go there, then go check out Dre and Keith's 30 Minutes of Nonsense. However, at DrayZera Uncensored, we will talk about whatever the hell DrayZera will want to talk about, and what I want to talk about is the music industry. You down for that?
I'm down.
That's down! Right, good. Right, so let's talk about it. So, first and foremost, right, what do you think of the music industry in 2017, going into 2017, in comparison to, let's say, the 80s or the 70s? How do you feel the music is in general?
In all honesty, I think the golden age of music was around the mid-1980s to around maybe the early 1990s to around the mid-1990s.
So would you say, if I were to give examples of artists, would you say artists such as Queen, artists such as Metallica, and their prime obviously, artists such as early Nirvana, early Alice in Chains, early Nine Inch Nails, all those artists, and Iron Maiden, of course. You're saying that was the golden age of music. Are you saying that because the quality of the output felt organic, or do you feel that nowadays there isn't that much talent? Because let's face it, there is talent. Surely there's
no, there is talent. I mean, all you got to do is look at people like Bruno Mars, Adele, people like that.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yes, I mean, you just got to look at people like that. They don't use auto-tune. They don't use these effects to help them be able to sing. Yeah. No, but they don't use all these stupid little effects that make them singers. And I put that in air quotes because that's essentially what a lot of people are doing.
All right. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Sorry to interrupt you, but because you're on this point, this is DrayZera Uncensored. Lay your neck on the line. Tell me some artist that doesn't deserve to be artist based on their autotune. You say them right now, and then you carry on your point. I am sorry, but this literally came to my head, and I don't want to lose this moment.
Well, I know I'm going to sound like I'm the majority here because a lot of people will agree with me on this, I think. But just to name a few off the top of my head, people like Justin Bieber, for example, people like Chris Brown, mostly because of his personality as well as his lack of talent.
Women beating is not okay.
Well, that and the fact that he's just a homophobic idiot.
And that as well.
And people like Kanye West.
With quotes like, I'm the greatest!
Yeah, no, you're not. People like Patty Walters from the band As It Is. Those are the sorts of people that just completely ruin music for me because they're taking something that could potentially be really good and they're ruining it by doing as little as possible and throwing a whole bunch of effects onto their voices and onto their music, like time-aligned drums, time-aligned guitars. How the fuck is this music? How is this music? In fact, let me tell you a story here.
Go for it.
Martin Birch, the producer of Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast.
Yeah.
He made Bruce Dickinson do the I Lived Alone, My Mind Was Blank intro for what seemed like an eternity. So for what seemed like, I think he did it for like 3 or 4 hours. He made Bruce Dickinson sing the line, I lived alone, my mind was blank.
Yeah.
And he would continuously do it and do it and do it. And there came a point where Bruce was like, oh my God, what the fuck do you want from me? What do you want from me? I'm doing the same line.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
Yeah.
And Martin was like, well, no, Bruce, let's get this part right. So they did it for hours and hours and hours. And there came a point where Martin said, listen, if I give you a thumbs up, because it's a big glass screen that he could see.
Okay.
He said, if I give you a thumbs up, that means you got it. If I stop you, that means we need to do it again because you messed up. So he did it for hours. And finally, what you hear on the record is the take that they used, because that was the perfect one. And he did this unbelievable blood-curdling scream at the end of the line when he finally gave him the thumbs up. That wasn't originally meant to be there, but because he had finally gotten it, and out of frustration and celebration, he did this unbelievable scream, threw the headphones down, stormed out of the room, and Martin was saying things like, hey, wait, you got it, and Bruce is going, no, fuck off! I don't want to talk to you, fuck off, I'm going to the pub.
So what is the moral of the story? Sorry,
the moral of the story is that if they had done it using today's techniques, they'd have done it maybe like, a couple of times and throw a bit of auto-tune on there to fix it up in the computers or something. And then maybe they might do a scream. But the emotion in his voice and that scream in his voice would have had nowhere near the same amount of impact.
The organic.
Yeah. The frustration, just the unbelievable rawness of power in it.
So you're saying what the producer did is that essentially he made him do it for hours and hours until he reached the breaking point.
Yeah.
So that was intentional. And did Bruce say, when Bruce recalled the story, did he say that essentially? Did he say that?
He said that when he listened back to it, he realized why he made him do it for so many hours. He realized why he made him do it for so long. Because it had that anger in there. It had that emotion in there that he was looking for. And that's what music needs to be.
There needs to be more, to quote the Sex Pistols, there needs to be more anarchy.
Yes, there does. There needs to be more emotion. There needs to be more adrenaline. And people these days, it's like Asking Alexandria, it's sort of flowing over into the field of rock music as well.
Oh, yeah.
People are using auto-tune and time-aligned guitars and shit.
Who's that group? I can't remember the name. They did the cover of Lil Wayne's Lollipop. I can't remember.
I have no
It's
idea.
a band. You must have heard of it. There's a band. Oh shoot. There's a band. They use quite a bit of auto-tune in that song.
I really don't know. I
Yeah.
don't tend to listen to bands like that.
Carry on talking on your point. I'm gonna research it while you're talking.
Okay, fair enough.
Go ahead.
But the point is that we need to stop using so much auto-tune. We need to stop using so much computer technology to have and for people to.
Oh, Framing Hanley. That's the group.
Oh, I've never heard of them.
You never heard of them? Okay,
No.
never mind. Okay, on your point on electronic, so all right, with auto-tune, the question of auto-tune, do you think in any point do you think it's justified or never justified? Because electronica, like I'm just throwing other genres, because obviously dance, reverb, house. I'm just throwing random other examples.
Yeah.
Because if we're talking about music, we have to talk about it from a broad spectrum. Because auto-tune, I'm not 100% sure why it was created, but I'm assuming it was created to make it easier. I'm not 100%.
It was discovered by someone. I think it had something to do with. For some reason, I don't know why, and correct me, anybody in the comments section, please correct me if I'm wrong about this.
Okay.
But I think it had something to do with a guy who was using a drill into the ground or something, and he found out that like certain waves were able to tune vocals or something, something like that. I think it may have, funnily enough, came about through fracking, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh man, that's another contentious issue in itself.
Yeah, exactly. But which I'm completely against, by the way. But
same here. Yeah.
But more to the point, I think that's where it came around. I think it was something to do with engineering or a drill or something, and he managed to find out that those same things can actually tune a voice.
Yeah.
As far as do I think auto-tune can be used in a good way? Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do think it can be used in a good way. And the good way is if you're just using it for an effect and that's only it.
Okay, rather than using it for the whole thing. So, for example, let's throw it out there. Let's go back to the Iron Maiden example. So let's say that Iron Maiden did the same thing in 2017. They released a song and they did the auto-tune only for the little tiny bit that you explained earlier. Would you think that's justified? Let's ignore the context of that time, but if the rest of the song just sung normally, would that be okay? I'm just using it as a generic example.
If they used it as an effect to where it was justified and it was a good effect and it was used in the right way and not used to help Bruce Dickinson be able to sing, then I would be fine with it. Someone like Cher, for example, she did that song Believe back in '98.
I gotta believe I can know. Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so she did that with autotune on her vocals. And we already know she can sing anyway. And the song itself, it was a cool effect.
Catchy as hell.
It was a good effect, and they used it correctly. And the thing is that you don't even know that she's using autotune half the time, because she's singing in key anyway.
Right, yeah.
So, with that said, that's where I think it works, is if they're just using it as an effect, and they're just using it to give it add some flavor to it.
So you're saying it should not be an enabler, it should be more of an auxiliary?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to put it into a way that I can understand, and some viewers may understand, because to be fair, the interesting thing is that also, you know, the craziest thing is that we're at an age where, let's say for the less musically, what's the best way? Musically literate, that's the best way to put it. For the less musically literate, we are in a generation where auto-tune is rampant, and therefore a lot of people may not know the difference properly. You know what I mean? Sometimes, because
that is pretty scary, actually.
And like, perfect example now, nightclubs that should not be named, that we go to, or have to go.
Well, you may go to.
Well, all right. Let me rephrase. Right, nightclubs that you have been to in the past, or may or may not. Right, you go there and you hear all the songs all auto-tuned up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the thing is that music. On the point of music and the organic goodness of it, the organicness, it's very hard to find them these days. It's very, very hard to find them because essentially music is a money-making business, and that's what they have to say.
It's the pop industry more than anything that is the music making.
But then you flip it around. You said that it's going towards rock now. It sort of feels
it is.
It's overspilling, like country music in America. I'm just throwing other genres around, like they're really, really like spilling it.
You don't tend to hear it so much in country music. I've never, and I could be completely wrong in this, but I personally have never heard a country song that had auto-tune. So luckily it hasn't spilled out over there just yet. Anyway. But
I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of fusion, perhaps.
Oh God, if there is, then
I mean, Blood on the Dance Floor is just
true. True, yeah, Blood on the Dance Floor.
And for all those that have never heard of Blood on the Dance Floor, please do not please, I beg of you. I mean, I grew up at the time when I knew when Blood on the Dance Floor were very popular. Obviously, they're nowhere near popular now. But back in the day, I was with full of people bands that are literally loco. But so we're going away from the point. But going back on it. I mean, like you said, rock. I mean, Arthur Alexandria. They
do auto-tune vocals and timeline drums and everything.
Falling in Reverse.
Falling in Reverse. I don't know if they do. They might do.
I have a sense that they do, in sense like especially their songs are quite poppy as well.
Well, the problem is that Falling in Reverse are trying to essentially be Avenged Sevenfold, but for more of a pop audience.
The problem is you can't really be in Avenged Sevenfold. I mean, the crazy thing is that the problem is, and this is what really annoys me as well. And this is another point.
I just want to interject here real quick. There's nothing wrong with Falling in Reverse as far as the musicianship goes, because I've listened to a lot of their songs and the drummer is absolutely amazing. They've got a kick-ass guitarist. It's just Ronnie Radke, who's a complete cunt.
The singer.
He's a total asshole.
Thing is, is that they're going to try. Did they actually say they're going to try and be the new Avenged Sevenfold, or is that what you think that they're?
That's the sound that they're coming out with. They're coming out with this sound. I don't know if you've heard the song "The Drug in Me Is You," but
Drug in Me.
They sound like they're trying to be a pop version of Avenged Sevenfold, but it always makes me laugh because Ronnie Radke's voice doesn't go with the rest of the group. You're hearing this kick-ass rock music, and all of a sudden he's coming in with, "What about another mother go the thing?" Dude, shut the fuck up, will you?
It kind of reminds me of, in a little way, it reminds me a bit like Escape the Fate when they had their original, not the singer they have now, but when they had the last singer.
That was Ronnie Radke.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh shoot! I'm. You just the same example. He nearly didn't fit. He
was in Escape the Fate, and then that what's his name? Craig Mabbitt or whatever his name is. Who's just as big of an asshole and
is he that Slash drummer dude?
I don't know. He might be, but Craig, as far as I'm concerned, Craig Mabbitt and Ronnie Radke are made for each other because they're both fucking egotistical assholes.
Oh man, it's just Falling in Reverse. Well, I'll tell you this right now. In terms of modern day music, now both of us are natural fans of metal. Metal is probably our favorite genre overall. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say more so heavy rock for myself.
Okay,
yeah,
that kind of spectrum of music. Do you feel that the organic goodness of metal in itself, like for example, we get like very technical music such as prog rock, prog metal, like bands like Periphery, bands like Protest the Hero, like very, very, very technical stuff. Which stuff like, whoa, this really blows my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then. What really bothers me is that, unfortunately, what we are diluted with is music that are topping the charts are essentially, and I know it's been like this for ages, but even more so now. There's a lack of songs that are really soulful. Like you look at the top 10, like the only real songs that I would admit that have lots of meaning is like, for example, in recent years, a lot of songs by Eminem, they have meaning.
Yes,
you know?
they do.
They have a lot of meaning. They're serious. They're right to the point. Eminem, in my opinion, he is one of the greatest rappers in history. in history. I'm gonna lay it on the line right now. He is one of the greatest rappers in history, and he speaks honest truth. But then you get artists like Cheryl Cole, and oh yeah, I now remember my point I'm trying to say. You get like artists like Cheryl Cole, and you get various other artists that do you know what's worse than using autotune? In my opinion, what's worse than using autotune? You don't even write your own music.
See, that really annoys me sometimes.
Mm.
Now, there are people like Whitney Houston, for example. She never wrote any of her songs, but she was a damn good singer.
Oh, absolutely.
So she could kind of pass for me a little bit because she at least had a very, very good voice on her, at least from the 1980s up until around 96, 97.
Yeah.
But the problem is that if you don't have any musical talent whatsoever, and you're having other people write songs for you, as far as I'm concerned, you're just a puppet.
You're just a part of the cog in the machine.
Yeah, that's all it is. And I don't like this whole pop direction that a lot of rock bands tend to move into.
Just so that they can make money.
Exactly. Just so they can make a little bit more money, just so they can make a little bit more green in their bank accounts.
Yeah.
And they write songs like, "My girl is the most beautiful woman in the world. I love my baby, I miss her." All this kind of stuff. And you just think to yourself, can you write something real for a change? Write something genuine. Write something that has meaning to it.
Yeah.
But they don't tend to do that. And it really annoys me.
That's really sad. I mean, that is sad. I mean, like I said, so you're saying to me, now I'll tell you this right now. I didn't want to really mention your band, but it's relevant because you are in a band. How would you feel if, like, for you, let me throw a situation to you. Say, for example, you got yourself a record deal. We all want record deals, don't we? Yeah? We all
want... a record deal isn't actually necessarily needed anymore at this point.
Okay, alright. I just want to elaborate on my point.
Yeah.
So to elaborate, say, this record deal will get you a lot of money. Now, I'm just trying to add, like, money like that. Yeah? Although
money's not really a big concern for us, though.
But I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Right? Would you say that for you, you've sort of answered your question, sort of, you will never ever sacrifice your creativity for money? You never ever, under no circumstances.
No, I wouldn't.
Never. Now, would you ever feel that certain musicians would do that? Because, come on, let's on the flip side, yeah. Now, I perform poetry, man, and I know how hard it is to get recognized in the poetry scene. For music, it is so dilute. Like, there's like, you know what I mean? Like, in this scene, even though in this area, there's not that many of your genre, it's still very competitive. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, therefore, would you say that, not everyone, but would you think that people, even in the local area, might sell their soul, sell their creativity in order to create simpler, potential chart-topping hits, just so that they can see the green?
Yes, I do. I do think they would.
And you can let's not name local groups, because otherwise, Eric Blaze, we would like to protect our guests. You see?
Well, no. I've performed with me and the band. We've all performed with different musicians. We performed with Powderhead. We've performed with Fourth Labyrinth. We've performed with Stone Broken.
Yeah.
All those people, all those bands, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And I can say, I personally don't feel that they're the sort of people that would sell their creativity just so they could make a few chart toppers.
Okay.
I mean, and we've only performed with them once.
Yeah.
But
once will do.
Yeah, no. But no, in all seriousness, we've performed with them, and they're absolutely probably three of the most amazing bands that we've ever performed with. And I don't get the feeling that they would do that. I do think that there are some local groups, I can't name any off the top of my head, but I'm sure there are some local groups that would sell their creativity for a big-ass check and a whole list of, a whole laundry list of stuff that a record company would want them to do.
Yeah, I'm just doing a bit of research. So I got the track listings of "Good Girl Gone Bad" by your favorite artist Rihanna. And
she used to actually be a pretty decent.
yes, yeah. And I'm just looking at the writing credits. Like, you know what's bizarre?
What?
The writing credits. Like, there are different people working for different songs.
Yeah.
That's absolutely bizarre. I mean, I was like, what? Like, for Umbrella, like, everyone knows Umbrella. It was like, writers C. Tricky Stewart, Tyrus Dream Nash, Thaddeus Harrell, Sean Carter, the Sport 4, produced, and like, it's crazy. And, I mean, it just seems, it just seems like there's no writing credits for Rihanna, and it just makes you feel. And I know you've made the Whitney Houston argument, but to me, in 2016, I don't think it runs well with me more so because I personally, I get pissed off when people do not perform their shit. That's my personal opinion. I suppose with singers, I still feel the same. I mean, why? Okay, you can sing. Okay, right. I suppose, yeah, you can sing. You've got talent, but can't you write some words? I'm not trying to say that you have to, but it just feels a bit hard. You know what I mean? I'm just frustrated.
There's nothing wrong with someone coming up to you and saying, "Hey, listen, I wrote this really cool song. I would like you to sing it." Diane Warren does that for a living. She writes songs. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, "Who's Diane Warren?" You know who Diane Warren is because you've heard her songs, such as "If I Could Turn Back Time" by Cher, "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing" by Aerosmith.
Yeah.
You've heard her songs. So she's written some incredible, amazing songs that she gets other artists to sing. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to just do nothing but that and just be a singer...
Yeah, no. That's what I'm sort of getting at.
It's lazy, is what it is.
Yeah.
It's very lazy.
Yeah, going back to the whole auto-tune argument. So right, okay, as we're running a bit of time, because this conversation's been flowing faster than my gay sex life.
Oh, God.
This is DrayZera Uncensored after all, where anything goes!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and just to clarify, for all those, yes, Eric is gay, but no, he is not the man that facilitated me. No. No. The rumours will carry on, but that man and his penis will remain sacred.
Okay, then.
And now back, so final point here before we wrap it up, then, Eric. In 10 to 20 years' time, where do you see music going? 20 years' time. Apart from the fact Final Transmission wins the Grammy.
Well, the Grammys are very political, so, we probably wouldn't even go for one of those, to be fair.
I mean, Metallica felt that didn't they lose to Jethro Tull in the late 80s, didn't they?
I think that was the case. Yeah, they did, yeah.
I was like, what? Who he? But anyhow, carry on.
Oh, shit, say it ain't so.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
Are you telling me that the Oscars are also rigged? Fuck off. But the point is that in 10 to 20 years' time, I honestly can't say where we're going to see music. I would like to say where I would personally like to see music.
Okay, and what would that be?
That would be we get rid of the auto-tune stuff. We get rid of the whole time alignments and everything like that. We get rid of all that crap, and we actually stop trying to make music sound technically perfect, and we go back to the way it used to be.
Yep.
That's what I'd like to see happen. Unfortunately, big buck billionaires like Simon Cowell and all those people wouldn't want that to happen because then they go bankrupt. And by the way, Simon Cowell, if you're listening to this, fuck you.
Would you? I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'll tell you what. This is going to be a first. It's going to be a first. I want you in about. You got the timer here. You've got until the 27th minute. You can say whatever you want to anyone that really pisses you off in the music industry. Go. Okay, well, Simon Cowell is one, so fuck him. Chris Brown, you need to start treating people with more respect, and you need to stop being homophobic. I'd say Kanye West, for the love of God, work on that ego. And pretty much any other pop artist and any other, and I say pop artist because they're not a musician as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Any other pop artist that has other people writing songs for them and doesn't allow other people to help them out.
and uses auto-tune and all that crap on their stuff, please retire.
Alright, I'll tell you what, give you another bit. Screw it, this is DrayZera UNCENSORED. Get 1 more minute, we want to hear more!
Oh, God.
Go on. 50 more seconds, go.
To be honest, that's pretty much it for me. You know, just anybody in the pop industry, anybody that uses, and also, for the love of God, people, if you're gonna want to be a musician, I'm begging you. I am on my knees, practically begging you right now.
He is literally on his knees right now. Platonically.
Platonically, yes. Well, if I'm gonna be on my knees, I may as well have it for something that's useful. But anyway, oh yeah, I went there. BERN as in Bernie Sanders. No, I'm joking. But here's the thing. I'm pleading with you. I'm begging with you. Anybody that wants to be a musician, don't go on X Factor. Don't go on Britain's Got Talent. Don't go on any of these those music idol shows. Don't do it, because it's a sham. It's a big scheme. It's a sham. It's got nothing whatsoever to do with music. They're just looking to make ratings. That's it.
And to finish off his point, I mean, if they really wanted quality, then why is there a Honey G?
Exactly. And on top of that, if they really wanted musicians, why are they bothering to look at the way they appear?
Indeed.
I thought that music was about being able to play and being able to sing, but I guess it's all about your looks now.
Absolutely, and that's the real shame. Alright, well Eric, thank you very much. It's been a very explosive near half hour, I have to say. Literally, my pants have exploded with so much musical knowledge, and without going a bit too homo on you, that was quite riveting, I dare say. So thank you very much, Eric. And quickly before, feel free to you can plug your stuff if you want to. Go for it.
Plug my stuff.
I didn't plug Final Transmission.
Oh, thank you. Right,
I'm not talking about butt plugs. God, no. Come on, just flipping talk about Final Transmission.
Well, you did kind of put it in a very innuendo way there.
Innuendo.
Yeah, or in my endo. I don't know.
Oh God.
No, you can follow Final Transmission on Twitter at twitter.com/FNL Transmission. There's too many characters in Final, so we had to put it as FNL. So that's twitter.com/FNL Transmission, facebook.com/FNL Transmission, and you can also find us on YouTube as well.
Woo! Thank you very much, Eric, and have a good time.
Thank you.
And enjoy the rest of the year. I'm sure we'll catch up soon.
Absolutely.
Alright, peace out. Okay, Moonlight Army, I will tell you this right now. We have 4 finalists for the headshot competition, right? Now this competition, the winner of it, will be in the front cover of my brand new book called Broken Circuitboard, coming out in the summer of 2017. Hopefully it will be out in June. Now, the 4 finalists are Steph Goodwin, Lottie Gilsenan, Chloe Lightyear, and Emily Bull. All 4 of you, have been amazing. It has been a hard deliberation who the winner is. And we decided that the person that is absolutely amazing, all of you are amazing, but this absolutely amazing, the winner will be announced in a minute. Because, hold your horses, because we're in the Poetry in Bed Poem of the Week. And Barbie the Bard, aka Sadie Davison, her poem, Beauty. This is her poem. Hear it out. Let's do it. Beauty is said to be the eyes of those who behold. But when you start to grow old, you don't have to fold and fight against it like you've been told. Society is a mold that will crush and squeeze you to fit until your soul's cold. And you buy into an image of gorgeously aging dolls that's been doled out. And you lose all sense of goals and realize you've sold out, 'cause your face has been pumped full of poisonous chemicals to make your lips pout, and you filled your breasts out. And now you stare at yourself in a mirror until you're filled with doubt. and wish you was an extrovert. Like women in adverts who starve themselves and eat Kleenex till your stomachs hurt. And do squats till they're sick to keep their butts hurt. Fingers in their throats after dinner until they regurge. But don't take my word. Former Cosmo editor Leah Hardy recently admitted that she had airbrush anorexic models, dyes to look less unwell, but kept extremely thin. Giving them pictures of women with no body fat who still appeared to be healthy and feminine. No wonder so many women feel heavily pressured when exposing to images which are eerily thin and carefully measured, designed for men to be pleasured, photoshopped, treasured, hiding faces, well weathered, disguising reality, tethered, designed for those who are leisured and can actually afford Botox when they're bored, secret liposuction abroad, but there's worse in store. How is this not against the law? 16 years old and under the surgeon's saw, poor young body cut upon bloody and raw, all because she desperately wants to be adored for her look. So she begged the parents and implored to be allowed to have surgery, but why wasn't she ignored? Why has she been taken to tropical shores to have her childlike figure sliced open and diced, while the parents grin and smile like they've seen something nice? Why did no one beg this girl to stop and think twice and say, "You're lovely as you are, don't go under the knife, no one is perfect, your looks will suffice, the price is too high, please take my advice"? It's crazy. If we are all made in God's image, then why would I want to be photoshopped? I wouldn't. It couldn't be stopped. Did you know that 70% of women never leave the house without applying some form of cosmetics? They're not far from wearing prosthetics or messing with genetics like you're splicing a sheep. There was a time when athletics was enough to keep yourself looking fine. It's high time we stopped them, making us feel like this is compulsory instead of an option. Get on the Atkins diet, raspberry ketones and losing mass, till you end up like Cleopatra in ass's milk, getting hit by ass snake venom, making you wonky in a donkey with no ass. Marilyn Monroe was one of the greatest beauties who ever lived, and she ended up dead in a hotel bedroom like she got stuck with a shiv. Helena Troy launched 1,000 ships, but thousands died for the fullness of her lips, and cities fell burned to the ground, men armed with swords and whips, in a conflict that was originally caused wrongly or rightly by the Aphrodite, oh so mighty with a temper of the fury so unsightly. Decades of violence and death without a ref, all gone crazy like smoking meth, in a war that was both started and finished for the sake of inflamed, throbbing passion by two gels. Bloody hell. But we know well that a finely structured set of cheekbones can cause the best of men to run pell-mell. Look at good King David, killed the captain of the guard so he could go to hell for leather on Bathsheba's ass. He smashed the back doors in, but never asked if this was the sort of victory that was expected to last. And what about the dance by the seductress Salome? She got her back pay after she practiced shaking her bits and winding her hips, grinding for tips in the form of the head John the Baptist. While there's no end to this list of death and destruction, and hotties through the ages causing nothing but ruction, some use their wiles for more enlightened functions. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that wearing makeup is a bad thing or evil. It can boost your confidence or make you feel good, but when you start to feel you should hide your face like the Stig or Neville, then the cosmetics companies have done their job well. It's a crass attempt to sell more product to younger and younger gels. who want to look like the impossible women, but they shouldn't. And if they understood what was going on, then they wouldn't. Living in the suburban villages, they see images of thick size 6 models with lush hair and full cheeks, when really they've got dull hair and they're breath-free. Skeletal bodies, dark circles and spots wasting away, 'cause they don't eat. And that's not hot. And you know what? This all gets magicked away by technology, but we're too obsessed to see, and the point is myth. This is a vision of perfection that doesn't exist. Wow, that is a mother-trucking powerful poem, if I don't say so myself. My days, wow, 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 wow. That is absolutely amazing. And literally, while reading this poem, I was looking at, she has a Facebook page, she does. Ladies and gentlemen, please, go on Barbie the Bard. If you type in Barbie the Bard, so Barbie, how you spell Barbie, the Bard, 3 words, please like her page, man. She deserves more likes. Absolutely amazing. That is absolutely amazing. That is, wow. It's incredible. Really love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Absolutely stellar! Wow! Oh, really strong message there, amigo. I always, like I said, natural women's beauty, beautiful. I can understand more so why people choose to have makeup on, and if you feel that you're forced to, then I really feel sad. It's not cool. Right! To top off the show, we're going to announce the winner! The person who's going to be the face of Broken Circuitboard. Is it going to be Steph Goodwin? Is it going to be Chloe Lightyear? Is it going to be Emily Bull? Is it going to be Lottie Gilsenan? Well, we had arguments, we've had discussion, and all 3 of us, Saf Rocks, who casts Hollywood actors and actresses, Terry Gilbert Fellows, who has worked in World Media, who is also the director of Blackheath Dawn, who is the publishing company that is publishing the book, and yours truly, we have decided that the winner is Lottie Gilsenan! Woo! Lottie, you have won the competition. Congratulations, you are now the face of Broken Circuitboard. Take it in, yo. Okay, Moonlight Army. That's it for DrayZera Uncensored! I have been your host, DrayZera. Thank you again for Eric Blade for popping in with his words about music, and I shall see you next week. Bye-bye! Censored! DrayZera Uncensored! Ha ha ha!